The Last of Us is 1,000%, no, 1,000,000% better than The Walking Dead. If you are in disagreement, that's okay. I was honestly just joking. But at the same time, I'm not. We need to face the fact that The Walking Dead could be dethroned from the seat of best zombie drama. Now, don't get me wrong or mixed up. The Walking Dead is a GOAT. Nothing can take that from it. The show is literally the number 3 most viewed / rated show, falling only behind Game of Thrones and Stranger Things. And boasting, like 11 seasons? But like myself and many, many, many more, Season 5 was kind of the peak. Some might say Season 7, but hey, that's an argument for a different time. However, The Last of Us is just doing its job so much better than The Walking Dead ever did. Now, I'm not going to go into too many details because I do not want to spoil it for those people who have not watched the show. So I'm going to be nice because nothing's worse than someone spoiling episodes or spoiling really big moments. But that being said, The Last of Us is already a rendition of a super successful, super popular, massive following game that's won many awards, Game of the Year, phenomenal piece of work. Now, we also have to realize and face it that Rick kind of sucks compared to Joel, and Ellie significantly better than Carl, and the zombies are nowhere near as terrifying as the infected in The Last of Us. Clickers freak me out to this day, and just the fact that these infected go through so many changes and just get more and more terrifying as time goes on, starting off as runners, then going into the clickers, then going into bloaters. That's just creepy, okay? It's the worst. They're way more terrifying than the average zombie. And if you've played the game, you already know that they actually pose a big threat into the world of The Last of Us, where I feel like in The Walking Dead, they're almost a secondary threat, where you're more or less dealing with the human side of everything over the infected side. And another thing that The Last of Us is doing so much better than The Walking Dead is just their use of language. Now you tell me, here, we're gonna paint the scenario, okay? You are walking around the streets, all of a sudden you are being swarmed by hordes and hordes of infected. You're gonna tell me right now that you're not gonna drop 400 F-bombs, where The Walking Dead just never did. So it felt very, the show already is fake, but you know what I mean? It felt more fake. Now that could be just an issue with AMC censoring things. I'm not 100% sure, so if you know, let me know in the comments what you think. What do you think the case was? It's just AMC censoring things? It could be. And the other thing The Last of Us is just doing so much better is it's addressing the infection and virus early on in the show, so it gives viewers that peace of mind and they don't have to worry about it and always think, what, how, where, when, how did this all happen? Where The Walking Dead never fully truly addresses it. So even to this day, I'm not even sure. It could be something to do with France. I think that was dropped somewhere. I read it somewhere. I'm not even sure where I heard that information. So score 1 for Last of Us. And The Last of Us is already coming out swinging full force with that emotional roller coaster. The Bill and Frank love story, super sad. I'm gonna tell you right now though, if you have not played the games, it's completely wrong and it never happened that way. So I'm gonna show you a clip of the true story right here. I feel bad for everybody that wanted it to go one way, but it didn't, so I'm sorry.
She can take this job. She can shove it right up. Nothing to do with.
Jesus. What, you know this guy or something?
Frank.
Who the hell's Frank?
He was my partner. He's the only idiot that would wear a shirt like that. He's got bites. Here. And
So for those of you who I traumatized, I apologize, but that is the true story of Frank and Bill. Now, obviously TV shows are going to change stuff and they're going to make different renditions, and that's okay. It makes more sense to do this more dramatic love scene. It does suck that Ellie and Bill will never get to meet because they had some funny, hilarious dialogue, but It's okay. So I know the game and the show are not going to have completely 100% accuracy, and that's okay. The show is basing it off of a game that only has 2 games whole entire series so far. So certain things are going to be added just to increase the longevity of the show, and that's okay. But I still think that The Last of Us is doing the character development one step better than The Walking Dead. The fact that it's only hyper focusing on Ellie and Joel allows for more character development and just more attachment to the characters in general as a whole. Where The Walking Dead has so much more cast and so many more characters that you don't get that same attachment that you're going to get with just following 2 primary characters. Now, when they do add side characters in, I don't want to say too much, but Henry and Sam, and you're gonna get super attached to Sam because he's just a great character. Joel is also a lot more relatable as he's been hardened by what has gone on, and Rick just kind of takes a long time before he kind of gets that post-apocalyptic hardened state of mind. The Last of Us also pays tribute to the game, and it shows it a lot during the show. Now, I know the show is taking a different approach because it is a rendition on TV, so not everything can be exactly the same. And that's okay, like I said, that's alright, it's gonna happen. So, I don't know, I don't want to go into too many details because I don't want to ruin a lot of spoilers, because I know a lot of people are just picking this show up, and I don't want to be that guy, like I said, who tells you the ending of an episode. So let me know what you think. Do you think that The Last of Us is truly better than The Walking Dead? Or do you think I'm completely, misguided, misled? I don't know, I think that The Last of Us could potentially dethrone The Walking Dead. And with that, I want to say peace, and thanks for watching.